Back again, Journal Journey, writing prompt number 89. Um, Today's plug is going to be to just please subscribe to Entertainment Buffet, the channel you're currently watching this on. We'd really appreciate it if you check out. There's going to be tons of new content coming to this channel, including multiple podcasts that have signed on to be distributed on here, as well as new sketches made by crews with myself and many other talented people and plenty of other shows and content coming for you. So there's just going to be wide variety. Subscribe so you don't miss out. But let's go ahead and jump into the writing prompt, which is, what was your most memorable rite of passage, and what did you take away from it? So, something I've talked about on here multiple times is one of the biggest things I've ever, produced and put together, which is a dark comedy play that I wrote called How Does It Make You Feel? Um, I consider this whole process a rite of passage for multiple reasons and multiple stages. One of which was I had zero theater experience. The only experience I had was like my fifth grade play. I had one line in Annie. Like zero theater experience. So I had realized that a lot of the films that I liked were minimal locations, heavy dialogue, and a lot of people are like, this seems like a play. And so I had an idea after seeing a couple plays that I'm like, you know what, I think this idea is better, could be a movie, but also would work better as a play. And so I reached out to some people. I learned a form of the formatting for the writing, wrote many drafts, did table reads, did a live reading, just worked over the script for a long time. This is the first time I crowdfunded. I actually had a budget, which I never worked at before. So that was like a rite of passage too, was actual crowdfunding. I knew tons of people in college who did them for short films, did them for web shows. I always put that off. I did stuff with zero budget, but this was the first time I actually had to figure out a real budget, crowdfund it, and then coordinate with venues for rehearsals, get the stage, then go through. We did a full audition process where we literally saw, I think, 98 actors in like 8 or 9 hours. Like, we saw so many for this play. And then, going through multiple stages of finding a director and putting that cast together, putting getting a set designed. Never had to do that before, and then putting it up in front of a real crowd, because like I had never done that before. I'd always done video work. I went to school for film. I'd done YouTube content where like people really, for the most part, I'd never seen a big group of people watch something that I wrote and helped put together. So my only other exposure to it at that time was I was really doing like open mics very, very rarely for stand up for like some time before that. Sure, so that was exposure to crowds, but this was the first time like this is a full production. Like, this is like almost a 2 hour play. People are paying tickets to see this. It's on like a real stage. We have a real set. We have like 8 people in a cast. It is like, it's like this is happening. And the crazy thing was, this was all in 1 year. I came up with the idea in August of 2016 was when I came up with the idea. A month later, I had a first draft. A few months later, a different draft. Worked my way through it all the way until August of 2017 was when we put it on stage. So to go through this year-long process with tons of personal problems, still working a full-time job, still working on other projects, it was like a rite of passage, because it really, to see real crowds in front of something like that, and with something that could have been very risky, because the play deals with a lot of dark jokes around therapy and suicide are the two big things it's about, and making that into a dark comedy and not just like a drama was a big risk. A lot of people, I told them the premise, and I think they were hesitant. A lot of people doubted it. A lot of people didn't think it could work, didn't think I could strike that tone. And so to have a director come in and literally just lift what I wrote off the page and found we found a great cast. She directed them so well. Marinora Wolf did an incredible job directing and pretty much co-producing with it too. Also, who she had theater experience, which is wonderful, but like I had none. And you know, that opening night finally being in front of people, and then like things are getting laughs, and then the next night it's still happening. And then like the Saturday show, the third show was like our best show. We were almost sold out. And the reason why this one in particular felt like especially special is because we had about, I want to say 60 to 65 audience members, and I had a good bit of people that knew me. Some of them were old neighbors from when I was a kid. Some of them were family members. Some of them were friends. And none of them had really ever seen like really my work, my like long form work. They had seen like some YouTube videos from when I was younger, but that's not the same. And for covering such a heavy topic, I think they didn't know what to think. You think of amateur theater, you think of people that like you may know, an actor or a stage crew member, and you go see a play, it's fine. But like to see it on this scale for like the budget we had and putting it all together with no experience, I think they were blown away. And not to say that like, oh, it was so good. I think their expectations were very low, and then because my director and the cast did such a great job and rose to the occasion, like they were like, oh, so this is like the stuff he writes. I think they just expected it. Not that they were like going to be mean about it, but I think they just expected it to be bad, and it was almost like a big coming out deal for like some of them to see. It's like, no, this is the kind of stuff that I've wanted to do, and I've never really had the chance to until this time. And yeah, it just was a crazy experience. It felt like different stages. It was like my first time doing something, and it felt like it just opened my eyes in so many ways to where I think a lot of people don't take artists who go to school for art like seriously. They think it's just a hobby. They think we're all bad. They just think we're bad. And like I said, I don't think it showed them that like I'm wildly incredible or anything. I think it just showed them like, oh, well, we were expecting trash and we had a lot of fun, and like the crowd laughed a lot. And so it kind of showed them, this isn't a hobby. I may not be getting paid to do it yet, but I'm taking this seriously, and I do believe I have things to say and a talent to show. And I think that's why it was kind of like a rite of passage. It was just like, see, this is what I'm capable of at this age with barely any experience. Wait until I have more money, more experience, more chances, even higher skilled cast and crew. Like, I think it'll blow people away. But yeah, that's what I wanted to talk about today in Journal Journey.